Welcome back, everyone. Thanks for listening and liking and subscribing. We're going to move on to chapter 30 of In the Company of Witches. So just sit back, relax with your beverage and your blankie and get cozy. Chapter 30, here we go. I looked around the room. My gaze landed on a number of concerned faces, but Beatty, he actually looked like he might be sick. This was a bad idea. I knew it was a bad idea. I didn't have any real proof for any of my suspicions. But the way Liz had attacked Nora, I couldn't stand by and do nothing. And now that I was in it, I was really in it. Your family has far more motive than ours does. What are you talking about? Liz asked. I swallowed hard. I think you know. I think everybody in this room knows. Rip held up a hand to Liz to let him answer as he swiveled in his seat to face me. If you're referring to that business with our father's will, that all happened years ago. But that's not the only will in question, is it? Another rumbling. Rip narrowed his gaze. What are you talking about? Everyone knows that you've always wanted Graves' house. What's your point? Constance was standing in your way. This time Rip who laughed. This time it was Rip who laughed. But it was short-lived and ugly sounding. What makes you think that's changed? My heart banged against my ribs. I was taking a huge risk here, but I couldn't let everyone leave the meeting tonight thinking Nora was the only person with a motive to kill Constance. I looked over at Roxy, then back at Rip. Your sister changed her will quite recently, isn't that right? Time suddenly slowed. Roxy's eyes grew wide as her brother looked at her with horror. The unpleasant smile on Rip's face spread even wider. I had made a mistake. What's this about a new will? Rip asked. She changed her will, and I've been told her intentions behind this new one was to finally make someone other than herself happy. Somebody stood to benefit. Rip let out another laugh. It was even bigger and uglier this time. You silly little girl. I tried to keep my expression steady. Sure, Connie wanted to make someone happy. He let the sentence hang on the air. Our father. What do you mean? She left everything to the town, Rip shouted, on the stipulation the house be made into a museum and the land some sort of park. She insisted on there being a big sign with the name on it, so we could see it every day. I tried to sort through what all this meant, but I couldn't put anything together. That changes nothing. You all still had motive. What motive? You were angry. Angry she stopped you from getting the house again. Yeah, I was angry, really angry, he said with a nod. 3 years ago. I felt my mouth drop open, but no words came out. That's when Constance changed her will. 3 years ago. She made sure we all got copies. I shot a look at Roxy, who was suddenly looking as ill as her brother. No, no, Constance saw Beatty just a couple of weeks ago. That may very well be the case, but it wasn't about her will. This could not be happening. I could feel the eyes of the town on me, waiting, but I already knew it was too late. I had lost them. It didn't matter if Rip still had designs on getting Graves' house or not. I had gone after him without having all the facts. No one would believe me now. A strange noise filtered into my conscience despite my swirling thoughts. What was that? Rattling, like glass or dishes knocking together, just like when Nora and I had been arguing in the dining room. No, not now. I looked over at the treat table. It was very slight, but all of the cups, plates, and silverware were trembling. Brynn, Nora hissed under her breath, get a hold of yourself. Does anyone feel that? Bertie Klein called out in a panicked voice. What's happening? Is it an earthquake? Brynn, Izzy whispered. Stop it. I'm trying. I can't. You said you were in control. I thought I was. Suddenly all the people were pushing back their chairs and getting to their feet as Liz Coleman shouted out, funny how these things always seem to happen when the Warren women are around. Whispers ran through the crowd, even though I shouldn't have been able to hear them. Everyone reached my ear. Strange things always happen in that part of town. I've always wondered if there was something a little old about that family or a little odd. Back in school, Nora was always a little peculiar. Everyone, everyone, William shouted. Let's all exit the building in an orderly fashion. I'm sure it's just a tremor. The rest of what she had to say was drowned out by the crowd. Izzy grabbed me with one hand and Nora with the other. You two out first. Both Nora and I tried to speak, but Izzy wasn't having any of it. Not one word, she snapped. From either of you. I've had it. We'll talk about it when we get home.